Psalm chapter 90, verse 17, New Living Translation. And may the Lord our God show us his approval and make our efforts successful. Yes, make our efforts successful. Psalm 90 is the oldest psalm in Scripture, prayed by Moses, a man who spent his life walking through uncertainty, wilderness, heavy responsibility, and the constant reminder of human frailty. When the psalm reaches its final verse, our verse, the tone becomes quietly hopeful. After reflecting on the brevity of life, the fragility of human strength, and the grandeur of God's eternal nature, Moses ends with a request that feels deeply human. Lord, let your favor rest on us. Establish the work of our hands. It is the kind of prayer that rises naturally from a heart that knows both its limits and its longings. May the Lord our God show us his approval is a request for something far deeper than success. It is a plea for God's nearness, God's delight, God's attentive gaze. In Moses' world, filled with wandering, labor, building, rebuilding, and constant movement, the greatest gift was not ease, but God's presence. Approval in this context is not performance-based acceptance. It is God placing his hand gently over a life and saying, I am with you. I am for you. I bless the path beneath your feet. Moses is asking that God's favor, not human achievement, not earthly security, be the banner over their days. When the verse continues, and make our efforts successful, Moses is not thinking like a modern strategist or entrepreneur. He is not asking for fame or accomplishment or personal gain. Rather, he is acknowledging that human work is fragile without divine sustaining. The wilderness had shown him that. Structures collapse, plans falter, strength fades, people fail, time erodes, and nothing holds unless God holds it. Moses' request is humble. Take what we do, however small, however imperfect, and give it endurance, give it meaning, give it weight beyond the moment. Success in Psalm 90 is not about outcomes. It is about God giving lasting significance to what otherwise would pass away like mist. This verse becomes especially meaningful when the day feels ordinary, tiring, or uncertain. There are seasons when our work feels unnoticed, our efforts fragile, our hands weak. Moses speaks directly into that experience. If God places his favor on the work becomes more than what it appears. A conversation becomes ministry. A task becomes worship. A decision becomes obedience. A small act of faithfulness becomes part of something eternal. God's approval does not make our labor easier, but it makes it meaningful. The repetition, yes, make our efforts successful, is not desperation, but emphasis. It is Moses acknowledging just how dependent we are on God. It is an exhale of surrender. Lord, unless you build this, it will not stand. Unless you bless this, it will not last. Unless your favor rests on it, it will drift away like sand. This repeated line teaches the heart a rhythm of humility. It reminds us that productivity is not the same as fruitfulness, and motion is not the same as purpose. God's blessing is what transforms our labor into something that endures. Psalm 90:17 also carries a gentle invitation to bring your work, your daily responsibilities, your burdens, your goals, your longings under God's care. Not just the spiritual work, but the ordinary work too. Moses does not separate sacred from secular. All work becomes sacred when placed in God's hands. Whether you are leading, serving, parenting, building, studying, helping, healing, creating, or simply trying your best to get through the day, God desires to make your efforts meaningful. He desires to weave your faithfulness into his larger story. For a modern believer, someone navigating schedules, relationships, dreams, setbacks, and the constant pressure to perform, this verse is deeply freeing. It tells you that you do not need to hold the weight of your own success. You do not need to control outcomes. You do not need to fear that your work is insignificant if it is offered to God. The success God gives is measured in seeds planted, in hearts touched, in obedience expressed, in lives shaped, not in applause or recognition or measurable accomplishment. When God establishes the work of your hands, the fruit may grow in ways you cannot see, or in times you do not expect, or in hearts you may never meet. This verse also becomes a prayer for aging believers, for anyone who looks back over life and wonders whether their labor mattered. Moses, near the end of his own life, understood this feeling. The wilderness years were long, and much of what he hoped for, he never saw fully realized. Yet he prays with confidence, "Lord, establish the work. Let it stand. Let it count." And God answered. The work of Moses' hands shaped generations far beyond his lifetime. God's approval gave endurance to what human history alone could not preserve. Psalm 90:17 is a reminder that nothing done in love, nothing done in obedience, nothing done with a heart turned toward God is wasted. Not one conversation, not one prayer, not one act of service, not one moment of perseverance when you felt like giving up. God sees it, blesses it, and builds something enduring through it. Even when you do not see the results, God sees the roots. So today, let this verse become your prayer. Lord, let your favor rest on my life. Let your nearness be my security. Take what I do today, my efforts, my decisions, my relationships, my responsibilities, and establish them. Make them fruitful in ways only you can. Give endurance to the things that matter, and let all else fade. Bless the work of my hands, not for my praise, but for your glory. This is the heart of today's verse. A humble request, a hopeful posture, and a deep trust that God can take our finite efforts and breathe eternal significance into them.
If you would like to learn more, you can email us at info@pcbc.church. You can also learn more about Peters Creek Baptist Church and our ministries by visiting pcbc.church. And if you would like to find a Celebrate Recovery program near you, visit crlocator.com and enter your zip code. Celebrate Recovery at Peters Creek Baptist Church meets every Friday night at 7 p.m. for worship, followed by gender-specific small groups from 8 to 9 p.m. We would love to have you join us.